They scoffed at her title, ridiculed her credentials, and cuffed her wrists until she spoke 6 words that sent the Pentagon scrambling. Dawn barely broke as Major General Alicia Bennett, 48, guided her silver Chevy Equinox into the gravel lot of a fast-stop gas station off Route 15, just beyond Fauquier County, Virginia. Fresh from a classified briefing near D.C., her uniform was sharp, boots gleaming, name tag, Bennett, shining proudly. She looked weary but resolute, carrying burdens few could fathom, the kind of exhaustion that comes from shouldering more than most ever will. Stepping out, Alicia stretched, inhaling the thick, muggy air before snatching her phone from the console. A text from her assistant flashed, but she dismissed it. Coffee first, then the road. Inside, the gas station was quiet. A young clerk, maybe 19, in a faded trucker's cap, stood behind the counter. A woman browsing energy drinks lingered near the coolers, her cart half full. Alicia grabbed a sparkling water and a granola bar, heading to the counter. The clerk's eyes flicked to her sleeve patches, her face, then her badge. "You some kind of soldier?" he mumbled, squinting. "I am," she replied evenly, setting her items down. He paused, scanned her purchases, and she paid with a crumpled 10. "Thanks," she said politely, but as she turned, the air tightened, a silent warning, the kind that hums in your bones before trouble arrives. Outside, Alicia leaned against her SUV, dialing her driver for a quick update. He'd meet her down the road. Her voice was low, precise, the storefront windows reflecting her silhouette. Checking her watch, she spotted movement. 2 sheriff's cruisers screeched in, one blocking her vehicle, the other near the pumps. Doors slammed, boots crunched gravel. For a moment, she thought a crime scene was nearby, but their eyes, hard, hands hovering over holsters, locked on her. This was no coincidence. The lead deputy, a wiry man with a graying buzz cut and aviators, stepped forward. "Ma'am, drop the phone. Hands where I can see 'em." Alicia blinked, steady. "I'm Major General Alicia Bennett. Just left a—" "Hands up now," he barked. The second deputy, younger, edged behind her, too close. She set her phone on the hood, hands raised. "What's this about?" she asked, voice calm. Their stance, their glares, said this wasn't a mistake. It was a challenge. "Got a call," the lead deputy snapped. "Someone like you, suspicious, in military gear acting aggressive." Alicia's jaw tightened. "I've been here 5 minutes, bought a snack, made a call." The younger deputy, hand on his cuffs, smirked. "Got ID?" "Yes, but—" Before she could finish, he seized her wrist. "Ma'am, I'm a U.S. Army officer," she said firmly. "You're mistaken." He snorted. "Mistaken? You're not above the law." The cuffs clicked, tight, biting her skin. This wasn't about suspicion. "You don't get to play dress-up and dodge rules," the lead deputy sneered. Alicia's pulse quickened, but she stayed still. No sudden moves, no sharp words. Just breathe. The lot grew quiet. The woman with the cart watched from the window, frozen. A man pumping gas paused, phone out, recording. The deputies didn't flinch, their authority unchallenged. To them, her stars, her service, meant nothing. She was a threat in their eyes, and they'd make sure she knew it. Handcuffed in daylight, Major General Alicia Bennett, commander of thousands, advisor to top brass, stood like a suspect. No rights read, no explanation beyond suspicious. The younger deputy tugged her arm toward the cruiser. She didn't resist, her face a mask of control, but inside a storm brewed. Her uniform, her poise, her 24 years of service, irrelevant. She'd faced insurgents, briefed senators. Yet here, between 2 county deputies, she was powerless. But Alicia wasn't just anyone. She had leverage. "Where's your ID?" the lead deputy demanded. rummaging through her SUV without permission. "Side pocket marked," Alicia said, voice steady. He muttered, yanking out her bag like it was evidence. Her back sweat wasn't from the heat, it was restraint. Every instinct urged her to speak, to command, but she knew how fast things could spiral. Silence was her armor. The younger deputy gripped her elbow tighter, his bravado masking uncertainty. The crowd grew, eyes watching, phones recording. "Why you dress like that, scaring folks?" the younger deputy taunted, spinning her to face him. "This is my uniform. I've served 24 years, Alicia replied, unflinching. He scoffed. "Yeah, and I'm the governor." The crowd's stares burned. Construction workers by their truck, a nurse on break, a kid filming from his skateboard. The woman at the pump kept recording, stunned. Alicia's wrists ached, the cuffs digging in. She'd endured worse. Desert heat, hostile fire, but this cut deeper. This wasn't just a stop, it was personal. "I need to contact my Pentagon liaison," Alicia said, voice clear. The younger deputy laughed. "Your what?" "My liaison. I have clearance." The lead deputy rolled his eyes. "We've heard it all, lady. You think you're untouchable?" "Check my badge number," she said. "Call it in before this escalates." "That a threat?" he snapped, stepping closer. "A recommendation," she replied, unflinching. The crowd grew restless, phones still rolling, capturing every word. The lead deputy clutched her ID, squinting. "Major General Bennett," he muttered, doubt creeping in. The younger one grabbed it, frowning. "Doesn't change what the clerk said," he growled, clinging to control. Alicia felt the shift, their confidence wobbling, but pride is stubborn. Admitting error was harder than doubling down. The lead deputy radioed something vague. The younger one glared at the crowd, now 8 strong, silent but watching. Alicia stood firm, knowing this wasn't over. Not yet. Time crawled. Alicia, wrists bound, stood tall, her uniform a testament to decades of duty. The clerk's call, a black woman in military gear, causing concern, had sparked this. She scanned the crowd. A retiree by the ice machine, a delivery driver, the kid still filming. Their silence spoke volumes. Then a voice broke through. "She's a general." A teen, maybe 16, ball cap tilted, held his phone high. "I saw her ID." The deputies flinched, their control slipping. The younger deputy spun toward the teen. "Stay out of this, kid." "I ain't your kid," the boy shot back. "I can record. It's legal." The lead deputy's eyes darted to Alicia, then the teen. "Go do something else," he growled. "I'm doing this," the teen replied, unshaken. "Cuffing a general for buying water messed up." The words stung, hanging heavy. Alicia memorized the boy's face. The crowd tightened, phones up, recording lights blinking. The tide was turning. "Think that uniform makes you special?" the younger deputy hissed, voice low, meant for her alone. "Think it shields you out here?" Alicia met his gaze. "It's not about special. It's about rules you're breaking." He recoiled, jaw twitching. The lead deputy held her ID, no longer just a card. It was trouble. He looked to his partner, unsure. Alicia stayed still, calculating. The crowd, now 10, watched silently. The nurse spoke up. "Check her ID. She's legit." The deputies froze, outmaneuvered. Alicia's calm wasn't weakness. It was strategy. She tilted her wrist, her smartwatch glowing. With a quick tap, she spoke, voice sharp. "Authorization Delta 7, emergency protocol, connect Pentagon liaison." The younger deputy lunged. "What are you doing?" The watch chimed. "Connecting secure line." Alicia stood firm, no smirk, just focus. The crowd leaned in, phones steady. The deputy's bravado cracked. They hadn't expected this. not a direct line to power they couldn't touch. Seconds later, a voice crackled through. "General Bennett, this is Colonel Marcus Tate. Are you secure?" The deputy stiffened. "No," Alicia said, steady. "I'm detained, Fauquier County, unlawful. Need immediate support." "Understood. Team dispatched. Hold position." The line cut off. No threats, just precision. The lead deputy blinked. "What? What was that?" "I called someone who knows me," Alicia said. The crowd's silence grew heavier, electric. The deputies stood, exposed, as the weight of their error sank in. The lot felt charged, like a storm brewing. The lead deputy shifted, uneasy, his authority unraveling. The younger one clutched her ID, his knuckles white. Alicia stood, cuffed but unbowed, her gaze steady. The teen kept filming, defiant. The nurse's voice rose again. "She told you who she was." The retiree nodded, arms crossed. The crowd, now a dozen, held their ground, phones up. Alicia's words echoed in their minds. This wasn't just her fight anymore, it was theirs too. The younger deputy's bravado faded, his voice shaky. We got a call, okay? Clerk said you were trouble." Alicia's eyes locked on his. "I bought water, stood by my car, called my driver. That's trouble?" He stepped back, silent. The lead deputy radioed again, voice low, nervous. The crowd's phones kept rolling, capturing every flinch. Alicia's smartwatch blinked, a reminder of the call she'd made. Help was coming, and it wouldn't be gentle. The deputies sensed it. 5 minutes dragged like hours. Alicia's wrists burned, but her face stayed calm. The lead deputy, sweating, muttered to his partner. "She could be bluffing." The younger one shook his head. "Pentagon line ain't a bluff, Carl," the nurse called out. "Uncuff her. You saw her ID." The teen echoed, "Yeah, General Bennett, check it." The crowd's murmurs grew bolder. Alicia stood, a pillar of resolve. Her uniform, her stars, weren't just fabric. They were a challenge the deputies couldn't ignore. The lot pulsed with tension. Alicia, still cuffed, felt the shift. Doubt eating at the deputy's resolve. The lead deputy's radio crackled, but no orders came. The crowd's eyes bore into them, phones unrelenting. Alicia's call had changed the game. She wasn't a lone woman anymore. She was a general with a lifeline to power. The deputies stood, frozen, as the weight of their actions settled. In minutes, the Pentagon's response would arrive, and no one was ready for what came next. The lot buzzed, taut like a coiled spring. The lead deputy, Carl, shifted, boots scuffing gravel, his confidence crumbling. His partner, younger, gripped Alicia's ID like it burned. Major General Alicia Bennett, 48, stood cuffed, her posture unbroken. The teen's phone stayed up, recording. "You messed up," he muttered. Carl glared but said nothing. Alicia's call to the Pentagon hung heavy. The crowd, now 15, watched, silent but bold. Something big was coming and everyone felt it. "You got people coming?" the younger deputy asked, voice cracking. "Yes," Alicia said, calm, "and they don't do small talk." Carl hesitated, glancing at his partner. "We should call this in." "She's not bluffing," the younger one hissed. Alicia's gaze didn't waver. The nurse shouted, "She's a general." "Uncuff her." The teen chimed in, "Yeah, you saw her ID." The crowd's murmurs grew louder, phones catching every word. Alicia stood firm, a storm brewing behind her steady eyes. The younger deputy's face reddened. "We thought you were hostile," he stammered. Alicia's voice cut through. "I bought water, stood by my car, made a call. That's hostile?" He flinched, silent. A silver Dodge Ram pulled in. Colonel Marcus Tate, 42, stepped out, jacket open, ID clipped to his belt. He strode forward, eyes locked on Alicia. "General Bennett," he said, voice sharp. "You okay?" "Not injured," she replied. "Just detained, unlawfully." The deputies froze, outmatched. Tate turned to the deputies. "Uncuff her, now!" Carl hesitated, then fumbled with the cuffs, releasing them. Alicia rubbed her wrists. No marks, but the pressure lingered. "You got ID?" Carl asked Tate, grasping for control. Tate's stare was ice. "Pentagon doesn't send me without it." He flashed a federal badge, no explanation needed. "Preserve your body cams," he added. "Don't touch 'em." The crowd's phones stayed up, capturing the shift. The deputy's authority was gone, exposed. Carl opened his mouth, then shut it. Alicia's wrists were free, but her gaze was steel. "You didn't make a mistake," she told the younger deputy. "You made a choice." Tate scanned the crowd, now 20, phones rolling. "Talk to your bosses," he said. "This is beyond you now." The teen grinned, still filming. The nurse nodded, arms crossed. Alicia stood tall, her uniform crisp despite the ordeal. The lot felt smaller, the air thicker, as consequences loomed closer. No sirens, no chaos, just cold precision. 25 minutes after Tate arrived, 3 black Tahoes rolled in, silent, deliberate. Doors opened in sync, suits stepped out, badges gleaming. The crowd backed up, phones still recording. An agent approached Tate, whispered, then faced Alicia. "Ma'am, we'll debrief off-site. Ride with us?" Alicia shook her head. "I'm staying. I want to see this through." She wasn't leaving until the deputies faced the crowd's eyes and their own reckoning. Carl's face paled. His sunburn faded. A woman from the Tahoes stepped forward, badge reading Office of Military Justice. "Who initiated this?" she demanded, voice razor-sharp. The younger deputy cleared his throat. "Clerk called. Said a woman in military gear was threatening." The woman glanced at the gas station. The clerk, now pale, ducked behind the counter. An agent headed inside, notepad out, recorder ready. The crowd watched, silent, as the deputy's story unraveled under scrutiny. Tate crossed his arms. "You detained a major general, in uniform, without cause. Ignored her ID, escalated. You're in deep." The younger deputy stammered. "We didn't know." "You knew," Alicia cut in. "I told you. You called me a liar." Carl shifted, uneasy. "We were responding to a call." "You saw my ID," she said. "You chose not to believe it?" "That's what matters." The crowd's phones kept rolling, the teen's lens steady, capturing the deputy's every flinch. Inside, the clerk babbled to the agent. "I didn't mean trouble. She looked intense, you know? Uniform, all serious." The agent's stare was stone. "What did she do?" "Looked at me," the clerk mumbled. Outside, Alicia adjusted her uniform, reclaiming her presence. "I've worn this 24 years, she said. "Never thought it'd make me a target in my own country." The suits listened, impassive. The crowd, now 25, stood firm, phones up, their silence louder than any protest. The lead agent faced the deputies. "You're off field duty. Now, internal review's coming. Body cams are ours." Carl's jaw dropped, then shut. The younger deputy stood, mute, face red. The clerk's stammering echoed from inside, his excuses thin. Alicia watched, unflinching. She'd faced worse. Desert ambushes, high-stakes briefings. But this was different. This was home, where her stars should have meant something. The crowd's phones kept recording, the teen's voice rising. "Told you, she's a general." The truth was undeniable now. 3 days later, Fauquier County hit every news outlet. Gas station footage spread online, stitched with outrage. Alicia Bennett wasn't just a name. She was the general cuffed for nothing. The sheriff's office issued a vague statement. "We're reviewing the incident with Major General Bennett, cooperating with federal authorities." No apology, no accountability. But the Pentagon didn't wait. Transcripts were filed, body cams archived, the deputies' faces looped. The clerk, Ethan Cole, 20, part-time cashier, faced local news cameras in an ill-fitting blazer. "I didn't mean no harm," he said, fidgeting. "She just looked intense, you know, not normal around here." Asked what she did, he faltered. Her vibe, it was strong. Viewers caught the subtext. Alicia met Pentagon advisors, her statement precise, no emotion. Tate sat quietly, offering no pity. She didn't want it. "What's next, General?" an advisor asked. Alicia's gaze was firm. "No firings for headlines. Document the truth, fix procedures, strip their badges. That's enough." The deputies were on leave. Paperwork, not justice, she noted. Messages poured in, from veterans, women in service, teens who saw the video. A letter from a 14-year-old in Richmond stood out. "General Bennett, you didn't break. My dad said that's strength. I'm proud of you." She read it twice, words cutting deeper than any colleague's silence. Asked about charges, Alicia declined. "Not for revenge," she said. "Visibility stronger." Exposure forced the system to face itself, cracks exposed, undeniable. The gas station got new management. Ethan vanished online. The sheriff's office mandated body cams, verified complaints. No neat resolution, but a mark was made. Marks outlast headlines. Alicia's next words would stop scrolls, not for justice alone, but its cost. The story wasn't over. It was a reckoning, and the world was watching, phones still rolling. 4 weeks later, Alicia stood at a small podium in a Manassas community center. No flags, just chairs and local reporters. She'd resisted speaking, but felt the need after media frenzy and letters. Some calling her a hero, others questioning her calm. In a black sweater and slacks, no uniform, she spoke raw. "You've seen the video, read the posts. I'm not here to rehash." She scanned the room, some attentive, others skeptical. Phones up, recording her every word. "What bothers me isn't the cuffs," Alicia said, voice steady. "It's what came after. Why didn't she fight? Why so calm, like I had a choice?" The room stilled. Calm kept me alive. I wasn't calm because I felt safe. I wasn't. A man in a denim jacket nodded. "People think service shields you," she continued, "but it doesn't. Not for everyone. Not for me." Her words landed heavy. No anger, just truth. The crowd leaned in, phone steady, capturing her resolve. A woman raised her hand. "General, was it about race?" Alicia didn't pause. It was about assumption, skin, gender, presence. They didn't stop me to ask questions. They stopped me because I didn't fit their picture of a general. Silence followed, thick, unbroken. "The hardest part," she said, knowing one wrong move, one loud word, could have ended me. The crowd absorbed it. No murmurs, just weight. Her gaze held firm, challenging them to see what she'd faced, what they might face, too. Alicia stepped closer to the mic. "Want change? Ask better questions, not why so calm, but why was calm her shield, not why no fight, but why didn't anyone help?" She paused, eyes on a phone lens. "I've led troops, briefed cabinets, buried soldiers, but in that lot none of it mattered. They saw what they wanted." Her voice sharpened. "If you think fairness protects you, ask. Would it have saved you that day?" The room held its breath, her truth undeniable. She stepped back, no applause, just heavy silence, real, earned. "If you believe the system guards everyone equally, think again," she said. Outside, kids skateboarded, a car honked. Life moved on, but her words didn't fade. They were a warning, a lesson etched in minds. The crowd, some teary, some stunned, carried her story. It wasn't just news, it was a mirror. If this shook you, she closed, don't stop here, share it, talk, teach. Silence fuels injustice more than anything. Her voice lingered, a call to action. Reporters scribbled, phones lowered, but the impact held. Alicia's story wasn't a headline to forget, it was a spark. Those who heard her, live or online, felt the weight. Injustice wasn't abstract. It was a general, cuffed for existing. Her calm wasn't weakness, but survival. The room emptied slowly, people changed. Outside, the world spun, but her words rippled, urging all to question, to act, to break the silence that binds. Alicia gripped the podium, voice firm. What gnaws at me isn't the lot, it's the aftermath. Why no outburst? Why so composed? Like I chose calm for fun. Eyes locked on the crowd, she leaned in. Handcuffed, uniform on, a dozen watching, deputies deaf, calm was my lifeline. A woman in a scarf nodded, eyes wet. You think calm's easy? Alicia pressed. I stayed calm because danger was real. That's the truth people miss. Phones recorded, her words cutting deep. Her voice grew sharper. Calm wasn't comfort, it was survival. I wasn't safe, I was exposed. A man in the front scribbled notes, rapped. People say service earns respect, immunity. It doesn't. Not for me, not for many. She paused, letting it sink in. My stars, my years, 24 of them, meant nothing in that moment. That's the gap we ignore. The room was still, no coughs, no shifts, just her truth, raw and heavy, forcing the crowd to confront reality. A retiree in a plaid shirt raised his hand. General Bennett, was race a factor? Alicia's answer was swift. It was assumption, skin, gender, stance. They didn't stop me to learn. I didn't match their idea of general. The silence was thick, pens frozen. Toughest part? She said. Knowing one wrong tone, one quick move could have ended it all. Her words hung, a warning. The crowd felt it. Her reality wasn't distant. It could be theirs. Phones kept rolling, unblinking. Alicia's gaze swept the room. Change starts with questions. Don't ask why I didn't yell. Ask why calm was my shield. Don't ask why no fight. Ask why no one stepped up. She faced a phone lens, voice steel. I've led missions, advised leaders, mourned troops, but there, 20 miles from home, I was nothing. Not because of me, but their lens. Her truth landed hard, no anger, just clarity. The crowd sat, struck, her story reshaping their view of justice. She eased back, eyes piercing. If you think fairness shields you, ask, would it have held that day? And if not, stop pretending the system's equal. Her words, half English, half French, cut deeper. Et si la réponse est non, il faut arrêter de faire semblant. Silence followed, not empty but full, truth's weight. Outside, bikes whirred, a horn blared, life churned, but her words stuck, a challenge to act. The crowd, some shaken, carried her story, no longer just listeners. No cheers, just heavy quiet. Alicia's story wasn't a fleeting post, it was a wake-up. Those who heard, in person or streamed, felt its pulse. Her calm was strength, her survival a mirror. If this moves you, she said, don't let it die. Share it, teach it, break the silence. Injustice thrives when we stay quiet. People left changed, her words a spark. The world turned, but her call echoed, urging all to fight the unseen. The cuffs bit into Major General Alicia Bennett's wrists, her uniform, 24 years of service stitched into every thread, mocked by deputies in a Fauquier County gas station lot, 20 miles from D.C.'s power corridors. Her story, etched in grainy phone footage, isn't just a headline. It's a mirror to truths we dodge. First, calm is a weapon, not a weakness. Alicia, 48, stood unbowed, her voice steady as deputies sneered, "You're not above the law." Handcuffed, with a dozen eyes and phones watching, she didn't yell. She calculated, her smartwatch's tap summoning a Pentagon lifeline. That restraint, born of danger's shadow, kept her alive, proving composure can outmaneuver chaos. Second, silence fuels injustice. The crowd, nurse, teen, retiree, watched, phones rolling. But only a 16-year-old's shout, "She's a general!" cracked the tension. Their hesitation, their paused breaths, let bias fester until Alicia's call brought black Tahoes roaring in. She later told a Manassas crowd, "Ask why no one stepped up," her words a blade through complacency. In that lot, assumptions, skin, gender, presence, cuffed her, not evidence. Her stars meant nothing to a clerk's panic or deputies' egos. Yet her story, amplified by a 14-year-old's letter and viral clips, demands we act. Don't just share. Teach, challenge, break the quiet that lets systems fail. Alicia's calm held a storm. Our silence holds complicity. If a general can be cuffed for buying water, what shields you? Her truth, spoken 4 weeks later, burns. If fairness doesn't protect you, stop pretending it protects everyone. The lot's gravel still echoes her stand, will you? What would you do if you saw Major General Alicia Bennett cuffed for buying water? Her story exposes hard truths about justice and silence. Share your thoughts below, hit that like button, and comment to spark change. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more stories that challenge, inspire, and deliver real value. Let's break the silence together.